So, and my voice is going already. So, mastering the self-employed mindset is something that has become very important to me, obviously because I've written the book, but also because I had quite a crappy time in employment, and that is what has formed the kind of reason for me doing this book. And ever since I've been self-employed, I've really kind of flown and embraced actually being self-employed, and it's done wonders for me. So yeah, this has all been channeled into the book, and it's themes from that I'm going to pull some out today just to have a chat with you about. So this is me, obviously, for those that I haven't met before, because apologies that I have been a bit absent from the group this year. We have had all sorts of stuff going on in the family and 2 bereavements, and it's been a bit chaotic. So I'm just now trying to get back into the group. And yeah, for those who have missed emails asking for one-to-ones, or I've just missed you joining altogether, feel free to start firing me stuff over now. But I'm a learning and content designer for my business, Unlikely Genius. And I'm just thinking you can probably see, yeah, get that out of the way. Yeah, so Unlikely Genius. And I focus basically on creating online courses for businesses. So I work for lots of businesses in the UK, but also some in Europe and Canada and all over the place. So obviously that has also been huge over the last 18 months because everyone's had to get online, and yeah, it's been very busy. So my business is very much based on the idea of creating enjoyable and inclusive learning for everybody. You know, we shouldn't be creating courses for the CEOs of companies or for the marketing team. We should be focusing on the end user. So I spent 7 years in the e-learning industry, I think, around that. And prior to that, I was a lecturer and worked developing e-learning and literacy in schools and things like that. And I ran Unlikely Genius on the side until 3 years ago. Everything came to a head in a horrendous company I worked for, and I walked, not having a clue what I was going to do, and absolutely just threw myself into self-employment and turned my little fledgling side business, where I just did the odd logo now and again for pocket money, into a full-time business. And I have basically never looked back. So that is obviously the story behind falling off the ladder coming about, which obviously it's called that for falling off the corporate ladder, but also because I am the clumsiest sod anybody knows and regularly fall off things, over things, and into things. So it's a mindset manual to help people break free of that employee mindset, particularly people who've had really crappy experiences, you know, toxic environments, and to now thrive in self-employment and shake all that off. So it includes my story, but also that of a number of others, including lovely Joelle, who's in our community. And it has like activities throughout to help people. So I'll stop trying to do some like sell now and actually talk about actual mindset. Oh, why is mine going funny now? Bear with me, bear with me. There we go. So why should you change your mindset? So ever since school, we're told how we should behave, what a career looks like, how we should progress. We're told we should go from school to college to university into a job, and then we should climb up this career ladder and become a manager. And we carry all that into adulthood and into our careers. So when you then make the mindset and become a rebel and do something for yourself, you're going from a very highly controlled environment to one of little control, and you need to take that control back. So being self-employed is about more than getting clients in and doing the work. Your mindset matters because everything will influence your business and how it's run and its success. Basically, you are now your business. So you need to make the rules, you need to decide on your approach and be the face of your business. And also it's about things like letting your personality shine and come through, trying to reduce overwhelm, reduce stress, ensuring that you're in this place to thrive. It can help you establish barriers, build your confidence. It helps you celebrate highs and learn from your lows. There's just so many reasons why mindset is really important to us. And it's preparing you for success. So I'm sure we've probably all heard about growth mindset versus fixed mindset. And you know, that does come into this quite a bit. So what I have done, other than blind you with pink, is, where's it gone? Where's it gone? Come on. Oh, the animation didn't work. But we've got 6 key tips, sparkly ones for you to work on your mindset today. So these are just 6 of the themes that I have written about and that I think are 6 of the most important ones that have helped me to really thrive and move on from being this beaten down, crying wreck of a person to being who I am today. So the first one is establishing your boundaries. And this has been the biggest challenge for me, without a doubt. So Brene Brown, I'm sure you've probably, most of you have heard of her. She explains boundaries as simply what's okay and what's not okay. Now, that is quite a simplistic way of explaining it, I think. It's not so easy in practice, but that is fundamentally the underlying message behind it. But we are not comfortable setting boundaries because we care more about what people think of us, and we don't want to disappoint people. We want everyone to like us, especially when we own a business. You don't want people to say they don't like your products, they don't like your service. We do need that validation. So it's very difficult for those at the start of their journey, or if you're lacking confidence like I was, I had absolutely none, to be assertive and to establish your boundaries. But awareness is half of the battle. So it's not just realizing where you're letting others trample your boundaries as well, as I totally always do. It's realizing where you're actually bashing your boundaries down yourself. So what type of boundaries should we be setting? Well, things like, what are your working hours and what hours are you available to your clients and how are they able to contact you? So if, like last night, I got a message WhatsApping me at 7:30 at night asking me about something, how are you then going to push back on that? Or do you let them do that? What is included in your project fees? And if something goes out of scope, how do you deal with that? Or do you just do it? How will you have that conversation about, well, actually, you need to pay me more for this? What behaviours will you tolerate and how will you deal with it? I have dealt with a ridiculously sexist customer before who basically said women were crap designers. Well, why have you come to me for work then? No idea. Managed to bring him round. But, that could put you off and you might say that you don't want that work in the first place. How are you going to fit in time for self-care? Huge one for me. What are your rates and how much will you accept negotiation? That's a boundary, because we all have that thing where you give your rate and someone comes back with, can you do it in half the time or for half the amount? And how will you make sure you don't say yes to things you don't want to do? So like I say, it's about, if these things are broken, how will you push back? How can you build these boundaries into your daily work and your processes and make them clear to your customers? Because that's a really important thing, to establish these things up front, like in your, if you're signing contracts and sending quotes out and paperwork, really making clear things like this is what is involved, otherwise you pay more. And, like I say, if someone does message you at 7:30 at night on WhatsApp and you didn't even realize they had your phone number, how do you deal with that? And how do you say, actually, you need to contact me in office hours on my email? Or there's all these things where if you can be proactive rather than reactive, it'll put you in good stead for dealing with your boundaries. And I will say, my little PS at the bottom, I am the biggest hypocrite here, because I do, like I say, bash all over my boundaries. And this is something that I still work on to this day. And so I will put my hand up and admit that. Second point, what is success to you? And this is something that I'm so pleased is becoming something that I'm seeing a lot of freelancers suddenly realize and talk about. It has been a game changer for me. So like I say, people say that to be a successful business, you have to be earning 6 figures, you have to hire a team, you have to have the biggest name clients, or you have to be a mompreneur or a whateverpreneur. I hate that term. And we're told that success is climbing a career ladder and aiming big and becoming, a CEO, a boss, a head of this, whatever grand title, you want. But for me, I quickly realized, and this was formed by past experiences, that to me, success was having a business where it was flexible for my health needs, where I could do creative work, because despite being a creative in the environment I was in, we weren't encouraged to actually be creative. We were really pulled back and just do what you've been asked and don't think out the box. you know, I've wanted flexibility for all our family stuff over the last year. I wanted to be able to pursue passion projects and find a niche where I really love the topics I work on. And obviously to have written a book. So the fact that I've been able to take time out to finish that, and that's been my decision. I've been able to step back from the business, stop client work for a couple of months, and now move forward. That's my huge success. That's one thing I've always wanted to do. And being self-employed has helped me do that. But I had to realize that that was what my success was going to be. You know, for me, it's not about earning six figures. I want to be comfortable, and I want to make sure that I try and grow my income year on year, but I don't have a goal of like, I want to earn 100 grand this year and things like that. That's not what's important to me. So really think about what you want for your business, for you and for your family. And that should inform what success means to you and help guide what you do in your business. Third one, what are your values? So we're not talking monetary. We are talking about what underpins and guides your business. And this, again, is very personal to each of us. So it's defining your work values. What is important to you to drive your business? What is important to you personally? What lights your fire? What do you care about in the world? And this is often guided by prior experiences again, and things like the reasons for going self-employed. So, for example, mine centre around actually putting the user at the centre of the work I do, which despite companies I've worked for claiming they do that, they seriously didn't. It's about having flexibility. It's about being happy in my work. That is a huge change for me. I've not been happy in my work since I left uni. And now for these last 3 years, I have been. I care about the planet. So I have a side project, an environmental one, and that feeds through my work as well. And I'm trying to build a much more sustainable business, community, which I'll come to in a minute anyway. Authenticity. I know Claire just said about this word. It is a funny one to use sometimes, but I am all about being open, showing the highs and the lows. Learning is a key value for me. I always learn more. I'm an eternal student, totally addicted by too many courses and books and all sorts. I wanted an easier life than what I was having. And obviously the bunnies are one of my key values. We need to keep them fed with parsley. So these values, you need to understand what they are that underpin your business. They will help you create content for your business. They should come across in the way you work, the things you do, the content you put out there, and inform your strategies and processes. And they may even direct you in the type of clients you start to work for. So like I say, the environment is a big thing for me, and also mental health is, and physical health. So I'm trying to push my business now much more into specializing in those niches. After years of doing everything from 5G security to phytosanitary export marks, which are as thrilling as they sound, I'm now pushing myself much more down those avenues where it really does fire me up and it reflects my values of the business. So it helps you find like-minded clients and networks and quickly establish connections as well, because it makes you more relatable and appealing. So that's been a big thing for me. So yeah, the other thing is about how you communicate them on things like your website. So I've got a blog with a list of them on at the moment, but it is eventually going to be moved onto a main page of my website when I can handle WordPress a bit better, because I hate it. So that's a plan in action. So next one, why is it not moving? There we go. Number 4 is work to your own rhythm. So by this, I'm talking about a lot of us in freelance in particular can often be almost pushed by a client to still be at our desk 9 to 5. But part of the joy of freelancing or self-employment, working for yourself, is being able to dictate your own rhythm. So, for example, I know that between 3 and 4 in the afternoon, my brain becomes absolute fudge. It just doesn't work. Plus, the woman 3 houses down has just started a child-minding business, and 6 kids suddenly stand in the garden and scream for 2 hours. And the sun also hits this room at that time, and I sit and boil. So I know that at 3 to 4 o'clock, I'm going to get nothing done. So what I've started doing is going to the gym for a swim at that time. And then I will come home and I will work another hour or 2 when I get back, before I, supposedly stop for the day. I'm not doing very well at that at the moment. And some clients will still expect you to be at your desk 9 to 5, but if that's the case, they need an employee, not a freelancer. So how can you push back to explain that actually the way you work is slightly different? And sure, there might be set times where you are there, but as long as you get your work done, they shouldn't be dictating to you what times you work. I know that's a bit idealistic sometimes, and there are some customers that, there's no way it's going to change. Or if you're working with different time zones, it can also become an issue, which I've been there. But the world is waking up to this a bit, and that's been fantastic this last year or so, that they're starting to realize that actually a more flexible working life, where if you need to take your kids to school and pick them up and then work around that, that's fine. If you work best, like I have a second wind at 9 o'clock at night, and that's when I'll fire out things like blog posts. That is all finding your rhythm, and it's having the assertiveness to push that across to clients. But it also means something that I've actually had comments in testimonials about. I'm also then very flexible with my clients. So if they have other demands, I've been really flexible to their needs and the times they need to have calls and things as well. So it works both ways, and it actually builds a great relationship. Number 5, and this is a big one, big one for me. So being yourself, not pretending to be someone else. And I'd quite happily just leave that one there, but I will expand. Because in my previous employment, I was told to be someone else. I was actually dragged in a room and told I would never amount to anything being myself. I was told to dampen my personality. I was told that the disability I had would mean I would never progress in that company. I was told that I should emulate Hayley, the company darling, that I should at every point think, what would Hayley do? And behave like her, even though I didn't even know this woman. But it's truly exhausting to be someone else and to have to take on a persona. And like I say, ever since I've been freelance, I have totally embraced being the stupid, bunny loving, sloth loving woman I am, and it has actually done wonders. So this relates to what Claire was talking about, of how much you're willing to put across online. And some people, will hold themselves back, and everyone's personality is different. This will look different for everybody, but I'm quite content now, and I've built to it, of just being myself. And I've had great response to it. So like Claire was saying, those posts that I put out where there's more humor in it and there's more of me, and it's, me talking about something really random that's happened, are actually building a lot of engagement. And it's surprising how many clients are coming to me saying, I've been watching you on LinkedIn, and after the initial moment, they actually go, I love what you do and the way you talk, and I want you to work for us. And it is getting noticed. So it's been really liberating. And, these people haven't even been necessarily commenting on the posts or liking them, but they've been watching what I've been doing. So don't be afraid to be yourself, however that looks. For me, it means no stuffy corporateness, no jargon, no pretending to be someone else. I'm just going to be me. I've rediscovered myself, and I think that is something that we can all do in self-employment. And it has really built fantastic relationships, where I'm now also being asked to go on podcasts, on videos, do careers interviews, run webinars, all those things we need as PR, because people have seen me talking about random stuff and actually thought, oh, she's all right. She might be a bit fun to have on. And yeah, I'm getting asked to do all sorts. So really put yourself out there. And then point number 6, don't compare. I would sing or compare to you, but I won't. So don't compare yourself to the 1%. And by this, I mean the overly filtered, carefully selected highlights we see of other people's lives. And this, funnily enough, someone tagged me in a post about this on LinkedIn yesterday, because she was saying that she's seen, like, I've written a book and other people doing all these other things, and she's comparing herself to us. And she'd actually tagged me in it and said, despite everything that's gone on, I've managed to do this. So she feels like she should be doing more. But actually, she's realised that where she is right now is where she's happy, and that's where she wants to be. We don't have to be perfect all the time. We don't have to be seen to be succeeding all the time. We don't have to be a 6-figure entrepreneur. We don't have to be better than all the others, or be entering or even winning all these awards others are getting. We can be realistically, behind the scenes, we're all having moments where we want to cry, where we want to throw the computer out of the window, where we want to cry for help, where we just can't handle the toddler having a tantrum in the next room during lockdown. You know, a lot of what we see is unattainable and creates disconnect. So by being a bit more real and really think, when you see these highlights, thinking, you know, there's other stuff going on in these people's lives, can really help you with that comparisonitis, which I think we all do at times. We've all, you know, scrolled through Facebook looking at ex school friends' houses and all sorts, haven't we? I hope it's not just me. But by being yourself as well, it does help you make those connections. We're all flawed, we're all real, we've all got stuff going on in the background. So just don't compare yourself to that 1%, because people only share the sort of Insta-worthy, caption-worthy moments of their life. But I'm a huge advocate of sharing the highs and the lows for this reason. And I would say that is another thing with social media, that when I've shared the lows, you wouldn't believe how many people comment saying that relates and message me saying thank you because I feel this too and I thought I was alone. And it really does help build those communities and relationships with other people in your industry as well. So, and one thing I would say actually with that is reach out and say hi to people and check in with them, not for any purpose other than just to say hi, not seen you around for a while, and you know, it's really nice and it makes you both feel better. So that takes me on to bonus tip, build your community, which I do feel like I'm preaching to the converted a bit here, because obviously we have a fabulous community here. And but I would say the community I've got around me here and my freelance communities have pulled me through the crappiest year of my life. They've checked in with me when friends I have known for 20 plus years haven't. They've sent me cars, treats, motivational gifts, sent me otter post, an actual otter, cuddly otter in the post, just to pick me up. They rang me when I've gone quiet to check I'm okay and I'm still here and I'm still functioning. And it's reciprocated. You know, I do it back for them. But it's not just about the bad times. We refer work to each other. We keep an eye on for opportunities, and we share pets, pictures of pets doing stupid things. And you know, we even have a channel on one of our groups for fluffy pet pictures, just to, you know, if someone just wants to see one for a day, they just scroll through. So as Ed Goodman of Freelance Hero says, no freelancer is an island. No, but that should be, you know, no business owner, no self-employed person is an island. It can be lonely, but it doesn't have to be. So build your community and make it really reciprocal. Make sure you engage with them, and sometimes just reach out to say hello to someone, because it will make their day.